I am very concerned right now that a lot of people have miscalculated Bitcoin very significantly, and there is a big drop about to happen. Now, every single bull market, every single time Bitcoin's price has a rally up like what we've seen in the past week, we experience a huge drop off in price. For me personally right now, I'm positioning myself against the market for the first time publicly in an incredibly long period of time. I am the biggest perma bull on the entirety of the internet. It is very rare that I choose to short anything because I have it stuck in my brain that the price of everything will consistently go to the moon. But the more of these scammers that keep popping up on Instagram, the more of these charlatans that keep trying to sell overpriced garbage and nonsense, the amount of inflation in the value of market caps and the amount of money-grabbing raises that I'm seeing right now is going through the roof. So from that perspective, fundamentally, the market is obviously reaching some kind of local peak. At the same time as that, we've seen the news non-stop about the fact that BlackRock is accumulating billions of dollars of Bitcoin. And BlackRock is buying that Bitcoin, but they're buying it for their customers. BlackRock aren't just buying that Bitcoin because they want to hold it. BlackRock themselves don't actually hold any Bitcoin. They hold it as a custodian for other people, and they don't even hold it as a custodian. They have a separate custodian for holding that Bitcoin. So BlackRock is just literally the asset manager managing those assets. That's their entire job with those ETFs. The same goes for every single ETF holder. My concern is right now, retail have significantly misread the signs for the start of the bull market. We don't get significant pumps up in the price of Bitcoin before Bitcoin halvings. It just doesn't happen. You end up with a bit of a rally and then a plateau and then sideways price action and generally a drop after Bitcoin halving has taken place. It is the preceding 18 months after Bitcoin halving that you experience these huge rallies up in price. Don't get carried away right now thinking the bull market has started, because the likelihood is it's not. Coming from me, that means something, because I'm always the guy on the internet that's saying everything's going to the moon and everything's going to be fantastic. But right now, I've got a bunch of trades open, not just here, but on other exchanges like PHEMEX here that you'll find a link for in today's video description. And I'm short. I do have a couple of long positions open here. This one is just because I don't want to close it. I just don't want to take a tiny loss. But I do have this short position here on Ethereum, and I do have a short position here on Bitcoin. I have closed out most of my Ethereum long position here. I've taken 8.7 Ethereum, or $24,000 worth of profit on that trade. There's still $7,000 left to take. But overall right now, I just get the bearish vibes that everything is peaking, sentiment is peaking. I keep putting out a couple of bearish tweets here and there on Twitter to gauge sentiment. I'm getting abused left, right, and center, which is generally a good sign. When you're getting abused on Twitter because you're saying, oh, I think the price is going to go down, people go, oh, you just don't understand the fundamentals. I do. I've been doing this since 2013. I understand the way these things work by now. And when I know something looks too good to be true, and it looks like everything's about to go really well, generally, that's not the case, and generally, it doesn't go really well. Generally, at that point, it tanks. Now, for me, there is a few key levels of support that we need to discuss in today's video. So just before we get onto that, slap a like on it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on those channel notifications. And let's have a look at some of these key points, because there are a lot of key points. And yeah, I'm sat here in my kitchen. Yeah, I've not made a video in 3 weeks. Sod you. Don't complain. Be happy that I'm back. And I am back. For the most part, I'm going to do my best to be posting videos all next week. Now, I've got, within those videos, I've plotted out 100 different altcoins that I'm very confident will 100x over the course of the next 18 months. We're not talking over the course of the next 8 weeks. Some things will do well over the next 8 weeks, but the odds of you catching them, they're pretty small. You need to build a long-term portfolio for solid growth and with good potential. That is the way to make money in this market. And also, you get the money for that by trading. And that's the way that I make my money. So, going over to the charts right now, let's have a look at what's going on here on the old laptop Aroni and shuffle up and have a look at Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin, as we plotted out in the past here, formed this inverse head and shoulders. I've not changed anything on this chart. You can check back in previous videos. You can see that we drew that. But as it sits right now, if we zoom in on the price of Bitcoin, Bitcoin is peaking because we're hitting this line here. I don't know why everyone seems blind to it, but clearly Bitcoin stalled today. We tried to break out above this line. We got rejected from that breakout. As it sits right now, we're trading at $51,843, and my trades are starting to come into some decent profits. Now, these are not small trades as well. You can see this Bitcoin short position here is $1.1 million. You can see this Ethereum short position here is $400,000. Ignore the CKB position. It's just like, if you look at the chart for that, it was ridiculously pumped up. And then also I'm trading here on PHEMEX. Now, one of the things I want to point out to you is a lot of you, again, if you're in the Netherlands now, you're about to lose access to Bybit and you need a new exchange. If you're in the UK, you need a new exchange. Use PHEMEX. You'll find a link for it in today's video description. I've transitioned most of my trading now over to PHEMEX and I'm really liking the experience. Initially, it was difficult to get used to the app and the way that things move differently from Bybit, but I've been speaking directly with the PHEMEX team. They've been improving the way the charts look. They've been improving the way the UI and the interface works. I'd recommend you check it out. It's a genuinely good application. They're helping me in racing this year. And if you're wondering why I've not been posting videos and whatnot, it's because I've been doing this. If you want to know what I've been doing, it is literally this. We've been at track all week doing this, doing fun things. Now, this is Max, my co-pilot, if you want to call him that. But yeah, we race these cars, and I mean, how fast do we go on this straight up here? There we go. He's on an in-lap there. You do about 270 kilometers an hour, so about 185 miles an hour on that straight. Anyway, back to what we've got going on right now. I have been distracted, of course, with racing and all that fun stuff. And I've not been as interested in the markets recently just because, look, I expected these pumps to come. I'm happy that they've come. I positioned myself a long time ago for these pumps, put a lot of money into Bitcoin, put a lot of money into Ethereum. I could retire tomorrow. I'm not going to, but I could. If you're wondering why I've been taking it a bit easier, just been enjoying some of my time, to be honest, and just enjoying life. I don't do a lot of that. When the markets are down, I tend to work so hard, work non-stop. And then when the markets rise up, I just kind of take it a bit easier. But I am going to get back to business now because I think it's time to really focus on the altcoin market, because you can look at so many of these different altcoins and like even now, Bitcoin has risen from $16,000 up to $52,000. The thing has grown very significantly, around 4 times in price, slightly more than 4 times in price. Bitcoin has grown from the very bottom. That's a lot of growth that Bitcoin has undergone in the past, I don't know, how long has it been now? About a year. That's 400% in the year. A lot of altcoins haven't done 400% in a year. A lot of altcoins are actually down more, like not down, but down against Bitcoin. You're tending to see that the opportunity is definitely in the altcoin market right now. So for me, I'm transitioning all of my holdings out of Bitcoin and I'm transitioning into the altcoin market. That's why you're going to see a lot of altcoin content from myself. So make sure you slap a like on this video and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It is a very wise idea to do so. Going back, however, to the price of Bitcoin, yeah, I expect a dump. Yeah, I know that this is not the popular opinion right now, and I'm probably a little bit too early to the trade as per usual. My initial expectations were that Bitcoin is going to hit $53,000. I just don't think it's going to get there at this point, but I could be wrong. I really hope it doesn't get there because it would mean that my trade dips into a pretty significant loss of around $25,000, and that would be pretty unpleasant. However, there's a couple of key things that I want to point out to you that I think are very, very important. The first one would be here. You can see that Bitcoin's price is rising here, and yet the RSI down here is falling. This is called a bearish divergence, where you've got bearish divergence here on the RSI and a rising price action here. At the same time, your MACD is bearish here on the 1 hour chart, and it doesn't look particularly healthy. Everything just looks very overbought. At the same time as all that going on, we've also got this bump and run pattern hitting a level of resistance. The odds of Bitcoin continuing its upswing here is unlikely. It's likely that the reason we've not just dumped straight back down is because people are liquidating at these levels, but also there is still a lot of retail demand at these levels being tempted in. And the other thing to point out about the markets right now would be that the US dollar is starting to rise back in value again at the same time as the monetary supply is decreasing. At the same time as that, the 15-year fixed mortgage average in the United States rose up pretty significantly from 5.92 to 6.12, and the UK entered into a recession today. Same time as that, the Dow Jones index dropped 0.71% and the S&P 500 dropped 0.32%, although it's not loading on the screen right now. Solana is down a little bit over the course of the past day or so, and I'm just losing a little bit of hope for Bitcoin in the short term. I think it's going to present some amazing buying opportunities in the long term, but in the short term, it's just not been, or rather, I don't think it's been working out really well. But for me, I'm selling. Like, these are the levels. I've been waiting for them for a year and a bit, 2 years, something like that, since Bitcoin was, whenever it was $16,000 and I was selling my house, my cars, all these different things to put it into Bitcoin. I'm selling at these levels. I'm going to buy it back at somewhere between $40,000 and $45,000. It's just what I'm doing. But at the same time, I'm going to use that money to buy into the altcoin market. I'm going to publish these altcoin videos to my channel very, very soon. You need to make sure you subscribe to watch them. And it's as simple as that, really. One of the altcoins that we talked about most recently on the channel, I talked about it quite frequently, is AIT. Now, we first started talking about AIT when the price was all the way down here at like 8-9 cents, somewhere around there. And the price has since now rallied up today to 51 cents. If you want to find more of these things, look, I'm not Brian Rose. I'm not going to charge you $60,000 for some course or anything like that. You should sign up to Crypto Saving Expert. You will find a link for it in today's video description. But the most important thing of all is just slap a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and there'll be some racing content coming to the channel as well fairly soon. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, check out PHEMEX, because you're going to get looked at by it pretty soon if you're in the Netherlands. If you're not in the Netherlands, if you're in the UK, the USA, basically, there's no KYC, no restrictions or anything on PHEMEX, so check it out. You'll find a link for it in the video description. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Goodbye.